What's up, guys? Welcome back to Patrick Garage. Today we will start up the Yamaha again, but not any power pulls. I will just test launch control. And as I haven't got any slipper clutch in this one, I'll use launch control as it is a car. Yeah, we will try. I've seen it's working on the screen, but we'll see later if it's working for real. I'll plan to just hit the launch control with full throttle and just dump the clutch and run through the gears with the shift cut. Let's see what that does for us. But that's what I've been doing. I've installed that one, and I have refurbished, changed the seals in the fork for the overkill bike. This one. I have also lowered it 6 centimeters, and I polished the tubes, or what it's called, I don't know in English. I checked if the chain is lining up as it should. I welded the other foot peg. I'm about to build a gear shifter, maybe in this video. And what else I will be doing? I've been making this one ready for the summer also. That's why I've put out some strange shorties with I have dressed up the A-pillar where I've added stereo stuff with some Alcantara as the old fabric, just when the heat was, when the sun was staking on the car. It was cooking the car. It's just, yeah, it didn't stick anymore. It just hang like soft, whatever you want to call it. So that's what I've been doing. I changed the oil and filter and gone through things. I will Sunday I might start polish it, wax and polish it and stuff. But that's my AMG. Yeah, so we'll just get into it and start the Yamaha. And oh, by the way, last weekend, nitro pull. I got scared afterwards. Not any, as the engine might have broken or something like that. But when I checked the plug, I cleaned them with brake clean and checked the plugs. They started to corrode immediately. So I just filled the engine with oil, 8F oil, and turned it around with a screwdriver, power drill, and just filled it with oil. So the startup will be smoky, I promise. But that's what it is. I need to run it a little bit with methanol so I can get that nitro stuff out. And I need to lower the rods again 2.5 turns as I pull them up. So there is some stuff to do before I'm starting it. So let's just get into it. Well, that's good enough for test driving and dynoing. If this one is hooking up onto the lower frame, I can just bend it outwards and make a little, yeah, you know, like a S. I try this first so I can get some space. Should be a little bit of a nick on it right here though. Yeah, I can bend it when I'm taking it loose and finally weld it. That's good enough for test driving. So, on to some launching over there. I'm just adjusting it back from nitro setup to methanol setup. And as the power jets are now actually the same, it is only the rods that are 2.5 turns turned upwards. I just need to screw them 2.5 turn down. And it's full of oil, as I said. 2.5 turns down. So let's see. That's 1. That's 2.5. And then push the needle upwards and turn it back. So the flat surface is facing towards the cylinder. You can see this is the methanol rod. It's kind of U-shaped, concave. It's almost full hole open when it's full throttle. But it is a small taper on it, so it is metering. And it is full of oil. As I said, it's very gooey now. But I might have saved it from corrosion. And I chose to use ATF oil because it is some detergent inside. There's more detergent inside ATF oil than ordinary engine oil and two-stroke oil. That's that one. Now the other one. And as it is hard to reach the third screw, I have skipped it. Before final mounting everything before the race, I will of course put the third screw inside. But it works anyway, even if I'm forgetting it. Hopefully not forgetting it, but I can do. Oil everywhere. Oil, oil, oil. Oil, oil, oil. Cockney rejects. Oil, oil, oil. 1 full, 2 full, and then a half. And then lift it, and then take it down. Right there. This is easy to adjust the electron. No need to take the carburetor off the engine and spill around with fuel from the float bowl. I like electrons. Smart carb is good ones also, but I'm not aware of they've got this methanol grinding on the rods, and there are from my educated guessing, smart carb is better on part throttle and response from from part throttle and upwards because of the shape in the venturi. But full throttle, full open, electrons doing the same thing. And if you want the electrons to do the same thing with pressurizing of the float ball to get it not as sensitive to air pressure, you can the float vent tubes, you can plug. This carburetor model has 3 ones. You can delete 2 of them, just put one hose to the other one, and the third hose you can make a pitot tube that runs into the venturi, and when air is pushing, it's also pushing harder onto the float bowl. It pressurizes the float bowl and doing the same thing. That's the air scoop and the smart carb. There's nothing else to it. But it's a built-in function in those, but you can easily mod this one to do the same thing. So we're almost done with this. Some spark plugs, and then I need to drain the fuel. These are the plugs. I don't know if you're able to see. One ran a little bit richer than the other one, but it can also depend how they were turned, located in the cylinder. They're looking really good though, even though I ran them on nitro. So we're ready for some smoke show. So where are we? Fuel petcock on, choke, and squirt some goodies into it, and let's see if we got some power. Yes. died when it got loaded down a little bit. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Well, a rubberized roller. Oops, wait a second. Turn off the light. A lot of rubber. Just made a burnout on the roller. Yeah. Well, oops, wait a second. Like that. The system works though. I need to be quick, otherwise it bogs down the engine as methanol is so much methanol is getting into the engine probably and bogs it down. So just pull the throttle, in with the clutch, no, in with the clutch, pull the throttle and just leave. But it might be a smoke show in two different ways, exhaust and rubber. It's quite fun actually. I had problems shifting gear in the second one though. I wasn't ready as it just bam on the first gear. So with that I'm quite happy with the result. I'll film a little one more with the visual log function with the other camera. I'll pause for a while and let the smoke clear out the garage. Fuck. I need to change the switch. of things to push. I think I was a launch in third gear. We're back at the computer, and I must say that was a fiasco, but somewhat really cool. One pull I made, I never recorded it due to I just made a test, but it was about the same result. It was before these ones that I recorded. So let's check on the dyno software as I recorded the pull anyway, and it's laughable. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, what does it say? 16.2 at 11,000 RPM. That's what roller managed to record. I had huge traction problems. This is dyno roller RPM, and this is the RPM. This is from beginning, pulling full throttle, 7,000 RPM, bam, 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 and releasing throttle instantly, 9,000 RPM from standing still. No, from 100 RPM. Well, it should stand still. It was that on the video. However, instant bam, and then and then next gear, and next gear, and yeah, that's no traction, my friends. There's no traction, and it was fun though. Oh, I'm back from that. Yeah, it was quite fun testing, but the roller does not allow traction enough to get that hard instant hit from the clutch. And with that low gears, it also is a lot of torque to the wheel as it shifts down in the gearbox, and creates a lot of torque. Yeah, that was fun, and yeah, we'll go from there, and see you in the next one, guys. Bye.